Hey guys, Mr. Dalek JD here, and welcome back to another Black Ops/Black Ops 2 Zombies video. You guys have been asking for loads of Black Ops 2 zombie videos, even when there is no information on zombies yet. You guys still request them, and I think you guys will actually really enjoy this. So if you are logged into a YouTube account and you do enjoy today's video, then be sure to give it a like rating. Anyway, in this video I'm going to be talking to you guys about what happened at the end of Black Ops Zombies and what could lead on to in Black Ops 2. Now, as we all know, the last map was on the moon, and for the Easter egg we blew up the Earth. It was a massive Easter egg and revealed a lot of information. Now, what most of us didn't pay attention to was the amount of information enclosed in some of the quotes that the characters said. I'm going to play you a few and then we're going to go and analyse them and see what they actually mean. So this first quote we've got here is Richtofen going,
"Nothing happened. At least in this reality."
And that happens when you pick up a negative red power-up. This is a really interesting quote here, because this quote could hint at dimensions or alternate realities existing within zombies at the moment. Some people believe that alternate dimensions do exist, and they may provide some evidence to back up such claims, but this quote is said when picking up a red power-up that seemingly does nothing. It's possible to refer this to the ether being affected by the power, but who actually knows? Right, these next few quotes are all talking about the Casimir mechanism, the first one being,
Of course that worked. Now where did I put the Casimir holder? Ah yes, perfect. Casimir effect only occurs when there is a vacuum. Ah, Gersh, the builder of the Casimir mechanism prototype. I will show you how to build a real one.
So if you guys aren't familiar with the Casimir mechanism or the Casimir effect, to sum it up basically, when two metal plates are placed parallel from each other at a specific distance apart, it will create a pressure in the middle of the plate. And this pressure is caused from a slight difference in wavelength from in between and outside the plates. Realistically, this effect is difficult to harness as the calculations are impossible due to infinite wavelengths. However, if the certain numbers of wavelengths is known, the Casimir mechanism can be harnessed as energy. So basically, summing this up, the two plates facing each other in the vacuum of space can be a source of unlimited energy if harnessed correctly. Now you can understand why Richtofen was so adamant about having this. So if we go back onto Moon during the Easter egg, when whoever playing as Richtofen places the golden rod with the focusing stone into the Casimir mechanism he built on Moon, after doing this and putting in his calculations, Richtofen is able to harness the infinite energy of the vacuums of space to change the Vril generator with an enormous amount of energy. This energy, when near the Vril pyramid, releases the vials to appear. The pyramid senses its energy in abundant amounts, thus the vials appear without any buttons or switches. You guys may recognise the word Casimir effect, as it was on the Easter egg in Ascension. Throughout the Easter egg, you help and continue to power Gersh's prototype of the mechanism, but it never seems to have enough power to provide Gersh with a direct passage back to Ascension, as at the moment in that map he is trapped in ether, and it's not until you throw multiple Gersh devices and use loads and loads of wonder weapons such as the upgraded ray gun, crossbow, thunder gun, that it's actually powerful enough to power the Casimir mechanism to essentially power the Casimir effect. Now Gersh is able to escape after you've done this, and his soul returns to Ascension and then floats up into the heavens. Now what's really interesting here is when you link back to the quote Richtofen says, where he says,
Ah, Gersh, the builder of the Casimir mechanism prototype. I will show you how to build a real one.
it's obvious now why Richtofen travelled to Ascension. He took the gang there to use the prototype created by Gersh to try and switch souls with Samantha there. Upon hearing and receiving Gersh's predicament, Richtofen realises that he can't switch souls simply by going to the ether. This would just result in Samantha tormenting him there for an endless amount of time. Now when he develops his plans for Griffin Station, he travels to Call of the Dead and Shangri-La for the items, and then returns to Griffin Station to finally provide the huge plan where he switches souls. Now what's always been a question is the time of this event though. I believe that the quote here, Dr. Gersh, who would have fit into my project had he had been born earlier, provides some sort of answer. Gersh was obviously too young at this point when Richtofen first developed his plan to switch bodies with Samantha. Thus he could not use Gersh to develop a Richtofen device. He had to travel forwards in time to the base to retrieve the Gersh device after it was finished in production. Now, this next point, you guys should be very familiar with the word Vril, with Richtofen here saying,
This Vril shall yield to me their secrets. The voices! Make them stop!
Now what's happening here is Richtofen's now controlling the pyramid, but someone is controlling Richtofen. These voices that he hears in his head is that of the ancient Vril-ya, and I've spoken about the Vril-ya in my storyline series a lot of times, okay? A lot of times. But anyway, I'll go over it again, refresh. Vril is The Power of the Coming Race is an 1871 science fiction novel, originally printed as The Coming Race. Many early readers believe that it's an account of a superior subterranean master race, and the energy form called Vril was accurate to the extent that some people accepted the book as truth, and a 1960 popular book speculated on a secret Vril society in pre-Nazi Berlin. This never was Richtofen's plan. Richtofen has been nothing more than a pawn in the grand scheme of things. Samantha never fully understood the power of her position because she was in there when she was so young. Thus she was never strong enough for the Vril for them to wipe out mankind and take over her. The Vril have been the voices in his head and the masterminds behind his plans. You'll notice how he mentions both the voices in his head and the fact he has a master plan for the first time immediately after touching the Vril pyramid. As Richtofen got closer and closer to completing his plans, the voices got louder and louder. Now the Vril have used Richtofen to complete their plan of taking over Earth. It's how he knew the whereabouts of the Goldenrod and Focusing Stone. They told him where it was. Richtofen was the perfect candidate for their plan. Everything's going according to plan. It's going to be up to our crew to stop them. Alright, these next two quotes are very interesting, as even I haven't really looked at these quotes before, and it's during the Easter egg where you're tapping into the computer of Richtofen.
What is it that grows obsession with American women? All they do is play games. No matter.
And Samantha saying,
First I'll find Teddy, then Sophia!
Now Sophia has come up a number of times during Zombies. The nationality of Sophia hasn't really been confirmed, but judging by what Richtofen said, you can generally make an idea that she's American. It's safe to assume that what Richtofen says, he's speaking from experience. And what's the only female that we know about besides Samantha? Sophia. And I think the quote is referring to when Richtofen and Maxis were working together at DeRees and Sophia became a distraction to Maxis. You can find these sort of radios during DeRees where Sophia is almost like Dr. Maxis' right-hand woman. I was going to say right-hand man, right-hand woman during the time of DeRees, which is really interesting. Sophia was Maxis' assistant, but that could mean that Americans were indeed in Group 935. And also, based on Samantha's quotes about Teddy possibly being Richtofen, Sophia may be an Aether as well. This can't be confirmed unless Teddy's identity can be confirmed, and until then, we'll just have to just sit and wait. Alright, the next quote for you guys is confirming that Shangri-La was the previous map, and there's been a lot of people arguing about the actual order that the maps are, and that the timeline of the maps don't actually go in the order that they appear as they came out and what they are in game. But if you take a listen to here, Nikolai says,
You would think that base on Moon would be more advanced than Temple and Jungle, but I guess we still need to turn power on.
and Takio saying,
This praise has Richtofen written all over it. Not a literary, that was the last praise.
if you base off these two quotes, you can confirm that Shangri-La was the previous map. Some people will argue about it, but I think this puts an end to the arguments, to be honest. And the Takio quote refers to the Richtofen shrine in Shangri-La that you see when you do the Easter egg. Alright guys, moving on to Black Ops 2 now, as I know most of you were clicked on this video to actually find out about Black Ops 2. Here's a few quotes that actually tell us some interesting information about what could happen in Black Ops 2 Zombies. Now here from Samantha, we hear her say,
Kill the zombies! He just gains power when you do! Stop tempting us to kill Edward! No matter how many you kill, we cannot win this thing! He just wants you to earn points faster!
Now why do zombies attack us, you ask? Well, it's not brains. Zombies attack us because someone is controlling them from the Aether or the Vril Pyramid. This controller sends zombies out on the world in hopes they will be killed and their souls sent to Aether, increasing the power and strength of their master. This can be seen when we fill the vials on the pyramid on Moon. Notice Samantha's voice gets much deeper than ever before. The life force is giving her more strength than ever. This is the reason why, as the zombie maps advanced, the zombies got quicker and smarter. The Master, Samantha, got stronger the more zombies we killed, and thus her capabilities as Master grew in the process. She didn't fully understand the position of the power she held, it was just her part in a game. However, with someone like Richtofen being the controller, things are much more drastic. One might assume it couldn't get worse than Richtofen being in charge, but I ask you, what's more threatening than hearing Richtofen's voice controlling the zombies? Also, another thing to point out is once you do the Easter egg, you see that the zombies' eyes become blue, which is matching Richtofen's eyes. It's really, really freaky. What's also really interesting to point out is Samantha, when you have the Gersh devices, she said,
Feed the ether. Go, bye-bye. Tell Edward to die. You cannot hide in there forever, Edward!
Now the Gersh device is a direct gateway to Ether, however it's not strong enough with the Casimir effect to maintain a stable gateway. This means essentially that the Gersh device does not have enough power to maintain a stable gateway to and from Ether. So what actually happens in game is you pass through it for a second and then you get returned to Earth in a random location. Now what's really interesting to see is right at the end of the Easter egg, when you blow up the Earth with the rockets, Takeo gets his memory back. Now what's happened is throughout the actual storyline of Zombies, Takeo has been brainwashed and he could not remember his own memories. And what he says is,
I promise to destroy every last remnant of 935. I will destroy them all!
Takeo has such a big hating for Richtofen now, he's actually realised, but he has been clueless the entire time. The other quotes here is from Samantha saying,
You cannot hide in there forever, Edward! But I want my body back, and I'll destroy that evil Richtofen for taking Daddy away!
we've got Dempsey saying,
Hey, Dick Doc! Didn't think it was possible to hate you more!
and Nikolai, so that's what he wanted to do. I probably should have seen that coming. The gang can all clearly see now what Richtofen's plans were, and have all vowed to get revenge for what he's done, which is going to be so awesome to see in Black Ops 2. Another really little kind of interesting detail to point out is the rockets that you actually shoot up to hit the Earth. Now if you look at the Ascension loading screen, does anything look familiar to you? Yep, that's one thing. You've noticed there's rockets as well. Is there anything else that you noticed? A weird shadow that the rockets show a number which I'm sure we are all very familiar with. Yep, Element 115. There is speculation that the rockets were filled with Element 115, so when the rockets hit the Earth, what could have happened is the Element 115 could have distributed around the world depending on where the rockets hit, and caused a zombie outbreak, which is going to end up with the world having more zombies on it than previously before. Another interesting quote is Maxis says that,
Well, that was a much larger explosion than I anticipated. I have done all I can. I certainly hope those calculations were correct.
which means that he did not intend to actually have the rockets destroy what looks like half the Earth. He only intended to hit certain locations. So what's going to happen in Black Ops 2 is beyond me. But if we take a look at this, we've all seen this picture, we all know it, it's world famous, it's that girl holding the shotgun in Black Ops 2. Is this Samantha? Who knows? I can guarantee you that this is Samantha, and she's holding a skull. She's on rubble which looks like what would be on the destroyed Earth, and whose skull is that? We have no idea. We'll just have to find out. I hope you guys found this video informative. If you did, be sure to leave a comment down below. If you haven't already, do subscribe for more Black Ops 2 videos, as well as loads and loads of other zombie stuff. I'm mostly a zombie channel, so if you are new and you expect zombies, you're going to love this channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you soon. Peace. Alright, I couldn't have ended the video like that, okay? I've got a little kind of task or proposition for you guys. I want you guys to do your homework. Now, there is another quote that I found recently just as I was finishing this video, and it's led me on to think of some really interesting things which could lead on to Black Ops 2. We've got some little hint at a different mechanism. I'll play you the quote and then we'll talk about it.
Now to realign the Antikythera mechanism. Just kidding, but it is pretty cool. Look it up.
Pretty interesting, isn't it? The Antikythera mechanism. Upon wikiing the Antikythera mechanism, it says that the Antikythera mechanism is an ancient analog computer designed to calculate astronomical positions. Now, why would Richtofen know about this? I mean, the rockets were positioned in such a way that they were only supposed to destroy certain parts of the Earth, but he ended up changing that so it destroyed what looks like half of the Earth, or could be the entire Earth. Who knows? I have never seen anyone touch this subject before. So guys, do your homework. Be sure to inbox me on YouTube or message me here on Twitter, YouTube, or in comments below on what you find out about this mechanism. And do let me know, as this is something that I'm sure is going to pop up sooner or later. So again, I hope you guys really did enjoy this. I had so much fun making it. And yeah, I put loads of effort into this. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you soon.